There y'all are. Snuck in a little surprise on y'all, didn't I? Let's do a tutorial using them. I'm so excited. It feels so good to be home. We were on a business trip, making sure all this gets going perfectly, and now I'm back. And I want to use a bunch of Kiko stuff too. I'm just too excited. I'm going to quit squawking and let's start painting. So this is Ben's photography set. I can't take it apart. He will frown upon that. But I wanted y'all to know that it does come with the bag, and then I'll grab another bag and show y'all that it works as a brush cup. We'll get to that in a second. Right now, let's go ahead and prime our eyes. We're gonna grab our concealer brush from the set. And then really quickly, y'all just want to know how much shorter, say this concealer brush, you can see how much shorter it is. Oh, hang on, I'm terrible at this. Okay, there, now you can see. And now let's go ahead and hop over here. Oh, and compared to the much larger face brushes. Hang on, I'm sorry. Just want to make sure it's really perfect for y'all so y'all can see. Okay, onward. Clean canvas, concealer brush. I'm going to try to just coat the front of the brush. And this is going to very quickly cover this lid space. I thought we'd go for a little bit more of a glam look today. Obviously, we'll do really simple looks, but I wanted to show you that we can get a really glam look with just these 5 brushes. That was my idea. You know, I'm sure most of y'all know, I've been traveling more this year, and I heard all of y'all said, we need smaller brushes and we need travel. And I said, you know what? We do. Now we're just gonna wipe this on Sheila. Cream to powder. We're still gonna, we'll use this for powder in a second, but we're also gonna use it for concealer, but I didn't want too much on the brush. Minus the jean hair. Look how the fibers, and this is a very wet product, okay? See that? Very wet. It's not on the brush. Okay, so let's compare the E28 to the cream to powder eye. First thing you're gonna notice, they're side by side here. This one here that I'm wiggling, that's in the Essential Travel set, that one's going to be flatter. I'm going to show you why in a second. It's going to make it more multi-purpose. So you'll see that it's obviously, I'm going to pull it out and show you it's shorter. It's also a little bit wider, and I'm going to show you why in just a second as well. Both can go cream to powder. And let me go ahead and show you what I had envisioned with this shape. So let's grab a shadow. So the reason it's flatter and wider is because I don't want to have a ton of different eye brushes when I travel. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it down with the flat side. And this is the technique that I have been, gravitating towards for many moons now. So lay down the transition. And this is one of the Kiko matte shadows. Y'all know how much I love this one. Well, this is shade 30. And we're just going to build that up. We're able to build it up with the side of the brush. And when we set like this and start that transition like this, it's so fast. Okay, we are basically almost done, using the side to press and transition into that first base we laid down. When I designed the travel set, I really sat down and I thought, when I am in a hurry, what are the techniques that I just absolutely do? I don't even think twice. There's just, let's go on autopilot, and it's the technique I'm showing you right now. So we have our transition laid down. I'm just gonna wipe it on Sheila. I love Sheila. And then we're gonna grab this shade, which is just gonna go closer up on our brow bone. Isn't this pretty? It's a little touch of soft yellow, very, very soft. We're gonna grab 2 taps of that on the side of the brush again, minus the jean bean here. And then we'll transition a little bit more and soften. Perfect. Now, that all being said, I want you to know that if you do feel you're most comfortable kind of doing some circular motions, you absolutely can. You can see that the tip, it's not completely flat. Say like our C30, you can just see that that's a completely flat brush. So if you want to, you absolutely can. I don't want you to feel like you're limited. But I will say that tapping technique and tapping to transition with a tacky base, it's just so fast. So one of the main reasons this brush here is flatter than most blending brushes is because I want to have a little bit more precision. So we're gonna grab it on the tip of the brush. And this is something that I just thought was so cool because so many of you have been with me for so long, you understand the technique. So where we pick up this eyeshadow on this brush makes a difference. So I'm gonna just tilt my head back and I'm just gonna push this in here. Oh, look who decided to join us. The little pumpkin boy. So we're just gonna press that into the socket and see how nicely it fits in there? We can just keep building this up. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you what this shade was. Hang on, this is the shade that we transitioned to the brow. And this color, isn't this pretty? It's so cool toned. I can actually see a little bit of pink in that gray goodness. Ooh, this is shade 09. So this is one of their wet and dry eyeshadows. So I need to put that right there so you're not searching and on a wild pigeon chase. So we're gonna grab this. Again, I'm just building this up a little bit more and pushing that into the socket, and it just fits so perfectly there. And we'll bring that all the way over here. And I think I want to grab some of this here on the side, and we'll press that on this as well. Nice, so soft. So really quickly, you know why I picked these two colors and this is the transition? Because I know that y'all might be thinking I do not see it, but I can really see it more right here. You can see that this color actually has kind of a hue nodding to this shade. If we look at colors long enough, we see things. So now I'm just gonna take this and just ever so lightly sweep. I'm not gonna go back and forth, but I'm just kind of following that natural contour I have there. We'll do a really winged out situation today. I don't have any more product on the brush. I'm just kind of pulling what's on my eye up towards the tail of my brow. Now I also wanted, and of course all of the brushes are so multi-purpose, but I wanted a brush that had precision. Do you see how pointy this is? We needed a super pointy, smudgy situation. We get a lot of precision with the E27, but I wanted something that was going to give us major precision, but it was also still going to be able to blend if we needed to. But really quickly, I'm just showing you, I know this is nothing, I know, but I just want to show you, say we want to do spot concealing, we can do that. And we would do this underneath our foundation. I'm still on eyes, but I just wanted to let you know before we move on. And then we'll take the side and just tap over it. Perfectly blended. And then what I wanted, of course, just wipe it on Sheila. And then if we want, say we want to do a smudgy liner, which I do want to do a smudgy liner. Let me grab something really quickly. Let me get, no, I want black. Hang on. Really quickly, I do want to show you that you can get this application, this precision out of it. I mean, you see that perfect precision right there. I wanted y'all to see that. It feels so interesting to me because I'm so used to the much longer handles, which is something that y'all did want shorter. But let me tell you this, the length of a handle really does make a difference on application. I know that we might feel that a really short, even shorter than this, might be maybe something we're more used to, but you're actually not going to get better application with that. It's quite the opposite. So when you're able to hold a brush from back here, you actually get these really even motions and better application. Think about calligraphy. Go watch that on YouTube. You'll see that it's just very flowing, and that's kind of the motions that you get when you have longer handles. So that's why this is the artistry, and that's why I didn't make these just this size. I just don't feel that you get the application that you can with this size. I don't do shorter than this. And neither should you. You know what? I think we'll actually do our lid before we smoke it out. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited to share these with y'all. So this is a water shadow. So I'm just going to do a drop here, or not. I know I have water in my thing. Did I already drink that much water today? No, there's some. Okay, so we'll just do a little drippity drop of just water. Okay, and then let's grab it on this brush. Are we excited? Because I'm excited. Let's get us our little mixture going here. Yes, okay. And now let's just bring that onto the lid. Ooh, this color's perfect. This is exactly what I had in mind. Kind of how evenly the brush is applying it. I love these shadows too. 10 out of 10. I don't know how long it's been that I've talked about it, but there are really just a few people that text me. One of them, obviously Ben from the other room. And then the other one is Pizza Hut. And I just got a Pizza Hut text and it makes me laugh so hard. Could I unsubscribe? Oh, that's pretty. So pretty. Yes, I could unsubscribe. But I really and truly, at this point in my life, I am so invested in Pizza Hut's deals. I don't order from Pizza Hut, but I would miss Pizza Hut. Let me give you a tip. If you have a hard time smudging out your lash line, especially with the shimmer, because what happens is sometimes shimmers, they just mix in with your liner, especially if you're going to smoke out that liner, and it just becomes an absolute just mess. So what I'm going to do is I have some micellar water here on our sculpting brush, and I'm just going to clean up my lash line. See, I thought of everything. Just kind of take away the shimmer there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we just don't want concentrated shimmer on our lash line. So this is such a good black pencil. It's a little bit of a spicy price. It is, but these Lancome, they're called liquid pencils. Is that, yeah, liquid pencil. They're so good. Check Macy's. Just keep checking. I feel like they have sales all the time on Lancome. I'm just sharpening it right now. Nice little sharpen. I'm going to do one eye at a time. Bring it over this way. And then a little bit there. Don't worry about it looking perfect. We're fine. Okay, we're going to grab this. I just wiped it off on Sheila. This is the same brush that we just used. And we're just going to give this a nice little smudge. We're using the tip of the brush. And we're just softening, wiggling that back and forth. Get a really nice gradient effect. Or transition. And just keep smudging that. But you'll see that it's staying really nice and black, and that's because we cleaned up the edge there. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a really big, I think I want to do a really big smoky wing. Why not? I want to show y'all that these can just be really, hang on, I can't talk and do that. They can be for just an everyday, simple 5-minute look, or you can just get extreme glam with it. Pulling it up this way, connecting. Okay, more importantly, out of everything here that's happening today, many of you have just DM'd me. We are all obviously on the same Pizza Hut texting SMS. Who's getting Pizza Hut tonight? Back into micellar water. Let's just clean this up. I mean, we say it all the time. We love a 2-for-1 special. And then what I like to do is I go back in, but I'm talking so close to the lash line. It's just going to add a really nice contrast. See that? It's subtle, but it makes a difference. So now I knew that I might have some fallout today because I didn't know how much black I was going to use. So I actually didn't put on eye cream. So let's go ahead and put on our eye cream. Whenever I know I'm going to use black, I didn't have fallout, but like I said, I wasn't sure if I was going to use the shadow, but I didn't. So I didn't even have eye cream on today. Do a nice little placement. Where's my brush? Let me go find my Anissa Beauty brush. So let's grab our spot treatment brush. I just feel that a brush just applies it so evenly. And I've always really gravitated towards these. I'm going to use a brush for my other skincare as well. But this has been my favorite. I see such a difference in fine lines, the way makeup wears, everything about it. I just love this eye cream. Now, I know that we're all different and we all enjoy different things, but for me, this is a 10 out of 10. I have a fun story, kind of. My friend, I did not buy this. My friend purchased this, and I preface this because this is wildly spicy price, but y'all are gonna like this because it's not as fantastical fun time as I had expected it. So she purchased this, and she's so lovely, and she knows that I love makeup, and instead of returning it, she gave it to me because the color is just a little bit too light, but it's going to work nicely with bronzer under it. We're going to get to that. So the foundation is Clé de Peau. I don't even want y'all to look up how much this is, and I wasn't even going to show it, but it's not on me. It didn't do enough for me to tell y'all that it's incredible. We're going to use it right now because it's what we do. It's fun. We're having fun. But also, I tried it without this, and this actually made it a little better, but it still didn't make it worth it on me. Remember, now if you have this and you're enjoying it, remember, we're just different. But I think this is $130. Will I get rid of it? No, I will not. I'm going to do an entire study on this foundation. But I tried it without this, and this is what I'm about to put on, and it was just absolute chaos. And then I tried it the next day, and it was better with this, but still not. If you don't have it and you're curious, just don't. Just let me be the one that deals with it. So I'm going to do 2 pumps. Actually, I'll do 3 pumps of this. So this is new from Elemis, and that looks like sparkles, but it's not. It's little spheres. I don't want y'all to think that I'm giving y'all sparkly skincare. I would. But it's not, and I just love it. It's so nice. So let's put this on, and I'm applying that with my Anissa Beauty All Over Care brush. So nice. This serum, it's basically that encapsulated oil. If you're into skincare, you know kind of what I'm talking about. But it still just feels like a gel, but somehow gives me hydration. Remember, I'm balanced to dry. I think that if you're oily, you might be able to get away with it. I don't want to say that. I think this would be better for balanced to dry. But on the perimeter of the face with oily skin, makeup does enjoy a little bit of... what am I trying to say here? Makeup doesn't like to go on top of dry areas. It can even change the way it wears. But that being said, if you're oily, I don't want you to invest in this. But if you're balanced to dry, your skin's gonna be like, ooh, it's a good one. All right, so I've told y'all this before. This is just a smidgel too light for me, and I'm looking for our brush. Oh, there it is. We're going to use this for foundation and concealer. Now, obviously, we love the C42, but I want to show you that you can do your makeup with 5 brushes. So that's what we're doing here. It's going to be fantastic. But we're still not to the Clé de Peau. Let's get a bronzer. I'm going to use this one from NARS. I like this one underneath. So this is shade 3, and we're going to pick that up here on our brush. And we're doing an underpainting moment. We've been doing this for a long time. This isn't new. It's been around for artists have been doing this for many moons, but it really works not only to shape the face, but to kind of save your foundation that's a little too light. Okay, and this brush is so perfect for this. So obviously, if we wanted to get more precision, we absolutely could. I do want you to see that. But right now, I really want this to migrate. So we have that extra color warming up and shifting our foundation to where it needs to go. So I'm even going to apply a little bit more than I normally would. Just make sure that we're doing those pressing motions. That's something else. All the brushes are designed with pressing in mind, because that's something that we've been chatting about for a long time here. And if you're new, pressing for me really just evens out the product very nicely. Now I will drag it down my neck because we want to kind of saturate this, and there's no foundation there. And I'm kind of just tinting. But if we're on the face, we're pressing and tapping. Okay, before we move on to the foundation, I'm going to throw on my Moonlight lashes from Rochelle Beauty. There we go. So now it's time for our Clé de Peau foundation. Give that a nice shake. I'm going to do 2 pumps of it. And then we'll place it here, here, around there. So we don't want to go directly on top of the underpainting because we want the least amount of product here usually. We could always build up later on top if you do need to cover that area. But it's usually a good idea to leave this kind of bare. All right, so let's grab our brush here. We love a 2-for-1 special, y'all. This foundation, for how much it is, it just... Okay, now we're gonna go on top. See how it doesn't completely cover it up? Perfect. And I do want to remind y'all that these are limited edition brushes. They're all brand new shapes. These are not any of the shapes that we already have. And say you still want to take your C42, you can see that this is working perfectly. It's really nice. It's not dedicated to foundation like the C42. So the C42 is just, its purpose is to be great at foundation application. But that being said, say you want to take this and you just want to use it with your bronzer. Look at this. It's still going to fit in here perfectly. See that? And then we zip, and then of course it's washable. So the full size fit in the bag. Now this has nothing to do with a brush. This has nothing to do with anything. I do not like this foundation. I don't like it. It's just, I don't like this foundation. I wanted to like this foundation. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because then I would have had to have kept that a secret from y'all, because I do not want y'all thinking that we need this $130 foundation. So I'm glad I don't like it. Let's get our concealer concealing. This is my Natasha Denona. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier because I want to be more glam today. And then our concealer brush. Let's work that in. Jean's snoring away. Classic Jean behavior. Take that concealer. That was Ben. Actually, I mean, they wouldn't have known. He has literally been that loud. And then, again, just make sure we're pressing that in. I think this is the first brush that I sneaky peekied, and y'all went absolutely wild for it. And it just warms my heart to know that I am thinking of things and creating things that are making your makeup life more fun and easier. I'm so excited for y'all to get this. Y'all are absolutely gonna love it. I've had it obviously for 8 or 9 months. It's so good. So this is kind of a big deal. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to use this to set, but tomorrow we're doing kind of a really quick look, and I'm not going to have on this much concealer. When you have this much concealer on, we're going to need a puff. I'm not even going to be like, oh, well, let's go in. No, this is a lot of concealer. It's going to need a puff. But tomorrow we can set with this. Let's grab our setting puff, our Givenchy powder, and we're just going to go ahead and set. Nice. That was just because I'm so full coverage, a puff is just going to set that a lot more evenly and all at once. But if you are basically when I travel, okay, I'm like with my concealer and I'm good to go. Setting with this particular brush right here that I'm pressing the concealer back in. Now I'm setting. Yes, perfect. And then I'm going to set the center as well. Did I just release an entire brush set? I did. Is this already a new prototype? It is. Now let's add some more coverage to the perimeter. And we talked about this last week. I love not super, super scented, but I love this bronzer if I'm doing a heavy glam, because not only is it obviously going to bronze, but it's even going to add a little bit more coverage. And we're using this brush. It's on that one side. Let's tap that, kind of press that upwards. We'll use this for blush too. Oh, look at that. Look at the precision we even get with this brush. So you're going to see that this one is more flat. Try to compare it to, obviously it's not angled like our C40, but it's still flat, because that's what you need to have that precision, but then it has some fluff, okay? Because fluff helps the blend. Oh God, that looks seamless. And then I made it a little bit shorter, because that's just gonna be a little bit more control, especially with creams. And then it's obviously not too short, because we need that little bit of height for powder. I think of everything. Let's continue to bronze, because I'm going to do a finishing powder, and we'll use this as well. And then we'll also use it with our blush. And say we wanted to do a cream blush with this, we could have done that, but we have too much powder on our face now. So we're not going to do that, but you can use cream or powder. Anything that comes from me is going to be a cream to powder, aside from the puff. I should say any brush. Oh, that looks so nice. And I also love, love, love this bronzer, but I, again, want to just repeat that it's wildly scented. It smells nice to me, but it smells like an extra large bouquet of flowers. So now let's finish up underneath our eye. I'm going to grab the tiniest amount of this Milk Makeup, the Hydro Grip Primer. I'm going to do a little wipey wipe just to kind of even it out with our eyeshadow brush here. I'm just using the tip of it to kind of tap it back and forth, make sure it's nice and even. Then I'm just wiping it off again on Sheila. Then I'm trying to decide what color I want under here. Let's just grab this color again, grab it on the tip of the brush. And look at how nicely that fits underneath there. And if you wanted less of a smudge and you wanted more precision, all you have to do is grab this brush. But I don't mind a little bit of a smudge. But if you wanted to keep it really close to the lash line, that's all we'd need to do. We just switch over to that one. But I'm in a smudgy smudge mood. Okay. So I'm just going to use this brush. Tap that underneath there. And that base is just going to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes right where we place it. Just grabs it. Now let's give it just a quick wipe off. And then that very first transition shade, we're going to grab that on the tip of the brush and just lightly transition this. Just kind of soften up those edges. This is a really pretty color. I do love this formula. I found some drugstore blushes that I kind of just reach for more, like the Kiko one and then the L'Oreal Infallible, but I really do like this formula. It's really beautiful. So let's grab that. We're going to grab that on our brush here, and we'll just place that right there. Also, these are very scented as well, these blushes. But look at how pretty that is, and it just kind of really brings out our transition shade and really just warms the face. Fun. So I want to wear one of my favorite lipsticks of all time. It's from Wet n Wild, and it is, I want to say it's 99 cents. I want to say that. It's so pretty. You'll see the rose goldness with back camera, but let me grab a lip liner. I love this color. We're doing an affordable lip today, and this is from NYX. This shade is called a Total Baller. And again, this lip is tying in so nicely with the blush and the transition. I love this lip. And then I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of finishing powder. For me, the Fit Me powder here from Maybelline, it's pretty universal. If this was a shade lighter, so this is shade light, but if it was shade fair, I can still set my under eye with it because it's not that shiny of a powder. So you see it there. It's pretty mattifying, but it's very smoothing, and that's what we're doing. We're just gonna pick some up. There's some here on the lid. We'll pick some up here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and set. Let's make sure we're nice and finished here. And I know that that can get confusing, the difference between setting powders and finishing powders, but it really just comes down to preference and also just how it really feels and looks, because I just wanted a nice blur. And sometimes things that are a little too shiny, they might not blur because they're attracting light, and that can kind of bring the eye to it. So this is a little more mattifying. There you go. We just did this glam with 5 brushes and a puff. And we could have just used that puff right underneath our eyes. But is that not wild? This glam, not just a 5-minute little quick, let's go. No, a glam. I'm so excited for y'all to try this. I really did take everything into account. I didn't just go, oh, here you go, here's some brushes. No, I thought this out. I thought about it. I thought of shape, size, density, this being washable and fitting the full size if you already have them. I really and truly, I thought of it, and I'm so excited for y'all to try this. I'm definitely going to save this look to YouTube. We're going to be using them nonstop. Tomorrow we'll do a very easy look with them, something very quick on the go. But I just want to make sure that y'all know that we are not limited with 5 brushes. I'm going to leave the link here. One more time, these are definitely going to be limited edition, and these are not ever going to be sold separately. In case nobody has told you today, I love you so much. I love you with all of my heart. I don't know what I'm posting tonight, but I'll be posting, and I'll see you there in the comments.